There are games that become popular, and then there are games that become unavoidable. The kind of games that break out of gaming completely. People who never normally talk about games suddenly know the name. News channels mention it. Parents recognize it. Celebrities play it. Friends who haven't touched a console in years suddenly buy one. For a lot of people, that game was Grand Theft Auto 5. By the time GTA 5 arrived in 2013, gaming was already huge. But it still felt separated sometimes. There was still a line between gaming culture and mainstream culture. GTA 5 blurred that line almost instantly, not gradually, not quietly, but completely. The release itself felt bigger than most entertainment launches. Not just gaming launches, entertainment launches. People queued outside stores at midnight. Social media exploded. Trailers became events. Even people who didn't normally follow games knew something major was happening. And when it finally released, it felt enormous. Not just in map size, but in presence. Everyone seemed to be talking about it. That scale matters, because mainstream success isn't just about sales. It's about visibility, recognition, cultural presence. And GTA 5 had all of it. From the moment the game started, it felt expensive, polished, confident. The world wasn't just large, it felt alive. Traffic moved naturally, pedestrians reacted dynamically, conversations happened around you. The city felt busy whether you interacted with it or not, and that independence created immersion. Los Santos didn't feel like a map designed for missions. It felt like a real place, a satire of modern life wrapped inside an open world. That realism wasn't just technical, it was cultural. Radio stations referenced trends. Characters reflected different parts of society. The world mirrored reality in exaggerated ways. And that made the experience feel familiar, even when it was chaotic. People who normally ignored games suddenly understood why players were invested. Because GTA 5 didn't feel niche, it felt universal. The three-character structure added another layer. Instead of controlling a single protagonist, you switched between three entirely different lives, three perspectives, three personalities, three lifestyles. That mechanic alone felt cinematic, not just technically impressive, but narratively ambitious. You weren't just following one story, you were seeing a world from multiple angles, and that gave the game scale beyond its environment. It made Los Santos feel populated by real lives rather than mission givers. Then there was the freedom, and this is where GTA 5 truly dominated conversation. You could follow missions for hours, or ignore them entirely, drive through the city, fly planes, cause chaos, play tennis, watch TV, explore mountains, dive underwater. The amount of interaction felt absurd, and that absurdity became part of the appeal, because every player had stories, not scripted moments, personal moments, random moments, unexpected moments. That's what pushed the game into mainstream conversation. People weren't just discussing the campaign, they were discussing experiences, things that happened naturally, things unique to them. That kind of storytelling spreads quickly because it feels personal, and personal experiences are more memorable than scripted ones. There's also something important about timing. By 2013, online sharing had exploded. Streaming was growing. YouTube gaming content was becoming huge. Social media clips spread rapidly, and GTA 5 was perfect for that environment. Every strange interaction, every stunt, every glitch, every ridiculous moment became shareable. The game generated endless content naturally, and that endless visibility kept it everywhere. You didn't even need to play GTA 5 to know about it. You saw it constantly. Memes, videos, conversations, references. It became part of internet culture itself. And once something reaches that point, it stops feeling like just a game. It becomes mainstream entertainment. GTA Online pushed things even further. At launch, it was rough, but once it evolved, it became massive. Not just as multiplayer, but as a platform. Players weren't just completing matches, they were building identities, cars, apartments, crews, businesses, heists. Entire social groups formed around the experience. For some players, GTA Online replaced other games entirely. It became the game they returned to constantly, not because of story progression, but because of social interaction. And that's another sign of mainstream success. Longevity. Games usually fade after release. GTA 5 stayed relevant for years. Entire console generations changed, and the game stayed. That level of staying power is rare, especially in entertainment, because mainstream attention usually fades quickly. But GTA 5 adapted, expanded, evolved, and because of that, it remained visible. There's also the production quality. Everything felt polished. The voice acting, the animation, the soundtrack, the writing. Even people who weren't deeply invested in gaming could recognize the craftsmanship. It felt comparable to blockbuster films. And that comparison mattered, because for years, games were often treated as smaller than movies, smaller than television. GTA 5 challenged that perception, not through argument, but through scale. It looked expensive, sounded expensive, felt expensive, and people noticed. Even controversy helped. Criticism, debates, news discussions, arguments about violence and satire. All of it increased visibility, because controversy attracts attention, and attention creates curiosity. People wanted to see what the fuss was about, and once they did, many understood why it mattered. Not because it was shocking, but because it was immersive, detailed, massive. It represented a level of ambition that was difficult to ignore. Looking back now, it's easy to forget how dominant GTA 5 felt at the time, because its success lasted so long that it became normal. But when it launched, it genuinely felt like a cultural event, not a gaming event, a cultural one. That distinction matters, because mainstream success means crossing boundaries, reaching beyond the core audience. And GTA 5 did that better than almost any game before it. Parents knew the name, news outlets covered it, celebrities referenced it, even non-gamers recognized it. That kind of recognition changes perception. It normalizes gaming. It makes gaming feel less niche, less isolated, more central to entertainment culture. And that shift was important, because gaming didn't just become bigger after GTA 5. It became more accepted, more visible, more mainstream. People stopped seeing games as a separate hobby for a smaller audience. They started seeing them as major entertainment experiences, experiences capable of competing with anything else. Movies, music, television. And GTA 5 proved that, not through marketing alone, but through impact, through scale, through conversation, through longevity. That's why it matters, not just because it sold well, not just because it reviewed well, but because it changed perception. It made gaming impossible to ignore. And once something becomes impossible to ignore, it becomes mainstream. GTA 5 didn't just succeed inside gaming culture, it escaped it. It crossed into popular culture completely, and very few games ever achieve that. That's why it still feels important now, because some games are successful, some games are influential, and some games redefine how the world sees the medium itself. GTA 5 did exactly that, and once it happened, gaming was never viewed quite the same way again.
But master gaming, take control. Let the